Welcome to our Slammiversary Predictions show right here on King of Wrestling Podcast here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Follow us on Facebook at King of Wrestling Podcast. Twitter is KOWP Show. Welcome to the Slammiversary Predictions show, and I've got none other than Ultimate Gallows here with me. What's going on, man? You doing all right tonight?
Doing all right, sir, but why am I paying you $10 if you get my whole title, sir? It's Ultimate Gallows, the hood mark, Lucha Libre, Central American Heavyweight World Champion.
I'm going to have to remember that. We're going to have to talk about that. I'm going to have to write that down because I'm not good at memorizing stuff. But I do forget it every time. But we'll get it into it. What's going on, man? I mean, you all right today?
Nothing much. Doing good, man. Enjoying a halfway decent day for July. You know, nice and temperate. You know, it ain't hot, it ain't cold. Been out here in Hurricane Rana Lake watching the water.
And we are 24 hours away from Impact Slammiversary. Now, this is the anniversary show that happens every year. It used to happen in June, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
Yeah, it used to be May or June. Yeah, a little bit earlier in the year.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, Impact came about in June of 2002, so I think it's 18 years they've been around, but, I mean, I think it's been in June up until the last few years, but we're going to jump into our prediction. What's that?
Sorry, you think about that. Impact has outlasted ECW and WCW now with 18 years.
Wow, it has. And to come to think of it, Impact probably never even reached the heights that ECW and WCW did for the longevity, you know, because Impact's, to me, I like Impact, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm trying to get back into watching Impact, but at the same time, Impact to me is just nothing but a glorified independent company at this point that's got television. A major television.
Nationwide TV, exactly. It's anything with nationwide TV and pay-per-view. That's what it is. But it's a fun indie to watch, though.
And we covered them on Around the Indies this morning. I talked about some stuff, and if you want to go check that out, you can just go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, and Pandora. Check it out. And if you're on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to us, give us that 5-star rating and review. It helps us and it helps independent wrestling. But yeah, we're going to jump into it. And you ready for our first match?
Yes, sir. What is our first match, sir?
It is for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and that is Moose defending the title against none other than Tommy Dreamer.
That is going to be fun. I've been loving this little angle between Moose and Tommy Dreamer. The speech Tommy gave, I think it was 2 weeks ago on Impact, was one of them really good. Tommy Dreamer, I've given my life for this business speeches. He does them about once every 2 or 3 years, but they're always so emotional and it draws you in. And Moose is one of those guys, I'm just wondering, why isn't he in a bigger fed? Why isn't he in WWE? Why isn't he in AEW or New Japan or something? He's got everything. He's got charisma. He can work the mic. He's good in the ring. He's got a good look to him. He's got a unique look, you know?
He does. He does have a unique look to him. He's good. I like Moose. But I want you to, can you explain to the listeners, though, that maybe don't tune into TNA or Impact much? Tell us how this TNA World Championship even come back, because I don't even know.
Okay, real simple. You know, the situation going on with Tessa Blanchard, you know, she was the Impact World Champion, and they were getting ready to have I think it was a 3-way match. It was going to be Tessa, Mike Elgin, and Eddie Edwards. Well, Tessa's engaged to Daga, which means she's living down in Mexico now, so with everything going on, she was trapped down in Mexico. Couldn't come up, so Moose just walked out on the pay-per-view, declared himself the TNA World Champion, and has been defending the belt since then.
But we're still going to get a world title match. So how's it? I mean, does the TNA World title mean anything?
It kind of does, and it kind of does. It's kind of like how, remember back in ECW days when Taz got pissed off because he wasn't getting title shots, so he invented the FTW title, which I heard is back on AEW now. It's kind of like that. It's like the $1 million belt, but you know, Moose is a damn good champion, and I like that. You know, I figured TNA was thinking, wait a minute, I'm sorry, Impact. We don't have a world champion right now with Tessa, you know, being stuck down in Mexico and all that shit, so let's bring this old belt back. And I think they were actually probably planning on doing this and then having the belts merge, and then with the stuff with Tessa happening, you know.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, and we're going to get into this a little bit later on with the world title match. But I'm going to tell you something. Moose is a bona fide main eventer. He's a bona fide world championship material.
Oh, yeah.
So I agree with that, and I think this is going to be a good match. Who's your pick in this one?
Oh, I mean, I really don't think Tommy's going to win. I really don't, because Tommy doesn't need a belt. Tommy probably doesn't want a belt. I think Tommy's going to go out there and do what Tommy's about, that make new stars. or help elevate stars. You know, I'm saying Tommy's really good at that. So people forget that, you know, Tommy Dreamer, I mean, he's the most technical wrestler, but he's good enough in the ring, he can make somebody else look even better than they are.
I agree with you on that, and I'm going to go with Moose as well. I think Moose will pick up the victory. Just like you said, Tommy's he's one of these guys that don't mind helping the business, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's meant so much to wrestling. And he's got his own House of Hardcore, and he does Impact, he does this. So I think Tommy's a stand-up guy.
Well, Tommy's one of those guys. He'll work everywhere, and House of Hardcore's been fun. The shows I've seen, it's a fun little, you know, it's not just an ECW ripoff. It's a little mixture of everything. It's a fun little group to watch. I wish they'd come closer to here. I'd love to go see a live show from them, you know.
Exactly, me too. And you know, eventually, I think with Don Callis being in charge, I think maybe and Anthem being the owners of Impact, I think we might get some Impact getting a bigger push and getting up there. It's just going to take some time, I think, you know.
Yeah, well, Impact's rebuilding because, I mean, a couple of years ago, for Dick to get rid of that one Slammiversary like 3 years ago, they thought it was going to be their last show, and then, you know, that's when Big Bucks, you know, Billy Corgan came in and thought he bought part of the company and saved them. They've been rebuilding for about 2 years, but it's become probably my second favorite wrestling show of the week, right behind MLW. Because it's a fun 2-hour show with some talent you're not going to see anyplace else, and not only that, but like, you know what I'm talking about? We see a lot of talent that we've seen, you know, kind of locally, you know, Kira Hogan, Jordan Grace, you know, people like that, you know, we saw them start their careers, early careers here in Mississippi. Now, boom, they're blowing up on a nationwide stage.
Yeah, and you just brought up MLW. I'm ready for MLW to return. I think they're going to be returning to TV tapings October the 3rd, so maybe sometime in October we get MLW back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm loving the anthology episodes. I love that they went back and remastered the old MLW Underground episodes and they're showing them, but man, MLW is just, it's the closest we're ever going to get to another ECW. It's a fun hour of TV every week.
Yep.
And I know I'm one of the few that actually gets the channel it airs. I actually do watch it on BN Sports. I don't know why I don't have a sports package, but I get BN Sports. I watch it off there.
Exactly. Well, all right, here we go. We're going to move on to our next match, which this one's got me baffled. This is going to be one. Now, they had a 10-woman tag on Impact, which is pretty much was just to promote the Knockouts Gauntlet match. And this is going to be with Tyra Valkyrie, Kira Hogan, Susie, Rosemary, Nevaeh, Tasha Steeles, Kylie Ray, Alicia Edwards, Havoc, Kimberly, and Madison Rain in a gauntlet match, Knockouts Gauntlet match. This is going to be interesting. What do you see about this match, and who's your pick?
Man, this is a tough one to decide on because, I mean, I'm thinking, to me, it's coming down to either Taya or Havoc. Because both of them are taller women. You know, they got more size to them. So I think they got a chance. And both of them been around for so damn long. Havoc's been wrestling, 15 years almost?
Yeah.
Just close to that. And everybody in it, besides Alicia Edwards, who, I'm sorry, she might be a really sweet person, but God, she is horrible. Oh, man. But, you know, besides that, every one of them is really good. And I like that Tasha Steeles is getting a look now. I mean, you saw her on NWA Power. She was interesting there. She moved up to, Impact. But Tyler or Havoc, so I'm guessing on this one. They might pull up, might surprise them. Somebody like Kylie Ray might win it. You never know,
Well, I'm glad you said that because that is my pick. I'm going with Kylie Ray.
Okay.
I just think that she's going to surprise us. You know, if you've been noticing, I have watched a little bit of Impact through the month here because we're going to start covering it on Around the Indies, so I'm going to get full blast into it. But before I do, I've been watching it, and I've seen Kylie Ray picking up victories that maybe she shouldn't be picking up, and it's just kind of hinting towards that. So I'm hoping, I would like to see Kylie Ray get it. I'd like to see Tasha Steeles get it. Tyra's been there. Havoc would be okay with me. Kimberly would be okay with me. So.
Yeah. I forget Kimber's there because she just came back recently.
Right. So your pick is either Tyra or Havoc, or Havoc, and mine is Kylie Ray. So that's what we're going to put down on that. And I'm going to just go ahead and say this. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm like, I don't know. Let me look at my record here for a second. And
what's your prediction record so far, sir? I know you've been doing pretty good.
I mean, I've been on a roll since WrestleMania. On all the pay-per-views since WrestleMania, I am 32-13.
Wow. That's pretty impressive, man. You need to start betting in Vegas on these odds.
Yeah, so, hey.
Will Vegas let us bet on Slammiversary?
No, but Bet Online will.
Okay.
So, I mean,
you guys go on the casinos up in Chickasaw.
Yeah. So that's it. So you got your 2 picks. I'm just going with Kylie Ray because that's all right. I'll say this: since we're doing 2 picks, give it a chance to win either way. You know, I'm gonna go with Kimberly. So
I can see Kimber. I see them putting it on Kimber.
So Kimber or Kylie, my picks.
Okay.
Taya and Havoc yours. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm going to just put these down for us, and then we're going to move on to our next match, which is for the X Division Championship. Now, I remember seeing this guy on the independent scene. I thought he had all the potential in the world. I think he was going to be good on the next level, and here we are, and I think he's been doing really well, and that's Chris Bay, and he'll be challenging Willie Mack for the X Division.
Chris Bay is one of those guys. I first saw him a few years ago when that Ring Warrior show was there in WG. I'm like, oh, this guy kind of stands out, and then y'all watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood almost every week. Chris Bay is very impressive. He's got a different look to him, but he wrestles like a high flyer, but not like most high flyers. He's got a weird kind of, it's hard to explain. The way he even moves is different than a high flyer, but he's very impressive. And Willie Mack is just one of those guys that I don't know why WWE signed him and then cut him right before he got down to performance. So the dude is amazing. He's a total package.
Do you remember when he was in Lucha Underground?
Oh, yes.
Him and Kill Shot and them. That was, I mean, Willie's been around a minute, and Willie is a very good talent, and so is Chris Bay. And I think these two are this is going to be a tear-down house match because they both can go, and they both know each other very well. So this is going to be it. Who's your pick?
That's the thing, man. I don't know. I mean, I got a feeling they're going to let Willie keep the title for a little bit longer. He got it not too long ago, but they really seem to be behind Chris Bay. Like you see a lot of promotion on the Twitter from Impact on Chris Bay. So they might go ahead and let Chris Bay win it because the dude's got unlimited potential, and he's a younger guy, so I'm going to go with Chris Bay.
I'm going to be right behind you on that one. I'm with Chris Bay as well. I think Chris Bay's going to upset Willie Mack.
It's going to be an upset because Willie Mack's a tough son of a bitch, man.
He really is, and I think it's going to be I mean, Willie's been around forever. Willie's good, and I enjoy watching Willie. I think Willie could probably be one of the main event stars. We're going to talk about. I want to get into that later, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. But let's go on to our next thing, which is where I think Anderson and Gallows will debut. The Rascals have an open challenge. What is your opinion here? I mean, what's your thoughts on this? I guess technically, I don't know if we're going to pick whatever, but what do you think?
Okay, now who's having an open challenge? You broke up for a second there.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Rascals.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know who's going to come in on this because one of the people I was hoping would come in, I know is not going to come in now because they just announced they tested positive for COVID. That would be Rusev. So, Gallows and Anderson, I bet. I agree with you on that because they don't want to work full-time in the States because they want to go back to Japan, so Impact would fit them perfect.
Well, they're already signed.
Oh, they are? Okay, I did not know they were signed. Hey.
Yeah, they already signed. They've already had promo pics with Impact Wrestling shirts and everything on. So I believe
I did not know that.
I believe Anderson and Gallows comes in and dominates here and just takes out the Rascals Open Challenge. And may even see an Aces and Eights deal here.
That's what I've been hearing rumors of, because Bully Ray's contract with Ring of Honor is up and over. So I'd like to see Aces and Eights come back because Aces and Eights started off good, then they got bloated and didn't end too well. It's kind of like what happened in NWO. They got too big and they just kind of diluted the product there.
Exactly. Well, we're going to move on to our next pick, and this is going to be a fun one because I know you know this one very well, and that is this is going to be the Knockouts Championship. Jordan Grace defends her Impact Knockouts Championship against Deonna Purrazzo.
I don't see Jordan losing this. I don't. They've been building up Jordan since she popped up in Impact. She popped up in Impact right after the All In pay-per-view, and they've been just building her, and they're doing a great job with it. I don't see her losing. I mean, they might surprise me, but I don't see it happening. No,
I don't see it happening here. I'll just say that much. I think Jordan Grace picks up the victory here. They're going to continue this feud. This is the first match I know. Has Deonna Purrazzo, has she even debuted yet and had a match in Impact?
I don't think she's had a match yet, but I think she's been showing up on Impact and doing like little promos and stuff. And I like her new character because I've seen her before in, I think it was Ring of Honor. She didn't have much of a character. Now she's the virtuosa, and it fits her. Kind of the stuffed up, I'm better than everybody gimmick, and it really works good on her. And Jordan is the total opposite. It's gonna be a nice style clash. You get a power wrestler versus more of a finesse high flyer. So it's gonna be a dang good match.
I think it's going to be a good one. I got Jordan as well in this one, and then we're going to
Okay.
move on to our next one, which is an interesting one in itself. Josh Alexander, Ethan Page, the North, the Impact Tag Team Champions, will be defending
The
against
longest reigning Impact Tag Team Champions.
the longest reigning Impact Tag Team Champions, and they'll be taking on Callahan and Shamrock. Wow.
This is going to be interesting because, man, I'm one of the people, I don't really like the trope of the tag team partners that hate each other, but I'm loving this Callahan and Shamrock. Shamrock is me. The Impact brought Shamrock back. I'm like, man, he's old. I don't know, and I become a Shamrock fan again.
I think
'Cause
Shamrock still got it. He
wasn't
still looks.
Yeah.
He is older, but gosh, I mean, he still got it.
Oh, he's still in shape, and wasn't he one of the very first NWA World Champions when Impact opened?
Yes, he was the first.
Okay, I thought he was. I was like, is it Scott Hall or Shamrock? I never can remember, but with this, they've been promoting too much on their shows and social media that the North has the longest reigning tag reign of anybody in Impact. I got a feeling Callahan and Shamrock are going to win.
I
I
agree.
don't want them to. I got a feeling they're going to.
I agree with you. As a matter of fact, I mean, yeah, the North has probably been like you said, the longest reigning tag team champions, and they're a good tag team. They really are.
Oh, they're amazing. I mean, Ethan Page is so damn good in his setup in Canada. Alpha One's a great little thing. Josh Alexander's one of those guys that it sucks he didn't make it down to the States for the longest time because of, he had visa issues and stuff. But dude is really, really, really good in the ring, and you never hear a bad word about the guy.
Nope. I mean, he really is. And I enjoy watching both of them. But I'm going to tell you this. I like Callahan. I like Shamrock. I think this is probably going to build to something bigger. You know what I mean? So I know that I'm pretty sure Callahan and Shamrock are taking the titles off of the North. So I'm wanting to see this, and I'm not against this. And I haven't really kept up with Impact, so I may be way off on my picks. But at the same time, I'm liking Shamrock and I'm liking Callahan right now. So, and Callahan needs somebody because where are we going, you know? So Callahan, Shamrock.
He's been spinning his wheels since he lost the belt to Tessa, you know, and they didn't know what to do with him. And then, Madman Fulton ain't with him anymore. And, the Chris, of course, one of the Chris is gone, the other one isn't. But this is a good thing to do with Callahan. Put him in there with Shamrock, let him tag for a bit, then have a big, long feud when they finally split up, and then move Sammy back into the world title hunt. That's where he should be.
Exactly. So this is going to be a good spot for it, and I'm just going to go with that. But now we're going to come to our talking points. And before we do our predictions on this, is our next match, which is the main event. It's for the Impact World Championship. We got Ace Austin versus Eddie Edwards versus Trey versus a mystery person. Now, I want you to give me your thoughts on this because I talked about this a little bit on Around the Indies this morning on the podcast.
Right.
I want you to talk about this match real quick, and then I'm going to give you a rundown of my thoughts.
Okay, first thing, huge Ace Austin fan, but the dude is way too early in his career to be challenging for a world title. Same thing with Trey. Good wrestler. Trey Miguel, the Rascals are amazing. Why aren't the Rascals in the tag match on the show? You know what I'm saying? They might be facing Anderson Gallows. My whole thing, what it is, I don't see him putting the belt on Eddie again because they put it on him a couple years ago and it did nothing. Eddie is a good wrestler, but he's just bland, kind of boring. You know what I'm saying? Good wrestler, just nothing stands out. I don't see him putting it on Ace Austin this quick. I don't see him putting it on Trey. I'm guessing whoever the mystery person is going to win it. The rumors I'm hearing is that it's a former TNA World Champion, which, I mean, that could be Eric Young, that could be EC3, that could be Kurt Angle, that could be Sting,
That's my thoughts on it, too, is that whoever, this is my opinion, whoever the mystery person is, and I think it could be Bully Ray, it could be Eric Young, It could be EC3, it could be Kurt Angle, it could be Sting, it could be any of those guys. But whoever is the fourth person is going to win the Impact World Championship, in my opinion, because in my honest opinion, Trey does not deserve to be in the main event. Neither does Ace Austin. Ace Austin should be
fighting for the X Division.
Exactly. X Division is fine. And I'm not taking nothing away from their talent. I think Trey's a very talented young man. I think that Ace Austin's a very talented young man. But it's not their time. I think Impact needs some bona fide main eventers, some people that can sell some tickets, some people that can do this. Ace Austin, they do their flips, they do their flops, but at the same time, I have never seen I just can't see one of them being the world champion, and Impact's already made enough mistakes this year as far as the world championship goes. And I'm not saying that Tessa winning it was bad, but at the same time, you don't put the world title on a woman. I'm sorry, they got.
Well, no, you don't put on a woman that has as many issues as she has. You know what I'm saying? She's a blocker in cancer. That's known. You know, and they knew it was going to blow up in the face if they took a chance, and she's been kicked out of every set she's ever been in.
Well, my thing with it is, too, though, is that it diminishes anything. I think that we have a women's championship and we have a men's championship, okay? Right. And I'm a traditionalist when it comes to that. I may get bashed and may get some hate mail, and if you want to send the hate mail, just kowpodcast@gmail.com. But my thing is that Tessa, being a woman, and not saying that she's not talented, because she is. She's very talented. I'm not going into the locker room or anything like that, but I'm just saying as far as in-ring ability, she's very talented, and she is probably one of the top females out there. And I think her and Charlotte Flair would have some bomb matches, but at the same time, putting the world title on her just did not help Impact, and it didn't help the world division or the world title at that point. So the world title image.
Brian Cage? I'm sorry, but no matter how tough she is, Tessa is so small compared to Brian Cage. I can see like Jordan Grace doing. She's a bigger, more muscular woman, but Tessa, no.
Yeah, exactly. And I think not only has Impact killed Brian Cage, but now AEW has killed Brian Cage. So there's.
I'm glad I don't watch AEW because I hate to see them killing Brian Cage. Brian Cage.
Well, they had a match the other night with Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage for the AEW World Title, which I think is meaningless. That means nothing. Taz threw the towel in to save Brian Cage. Why? Moxley's a bad guy. Don't get me wrong. But Moxley's went through Jericho. Moxley went through Hager. Moxley went through Brody Lee. Moxley goes through Brian Cage. Who you got left, and where are you going to build from here? And everybody says, well, what about Cody and Moxley? They're building them up as a company. Yeah, but you're killing every bit of your talent to get to that point. My thing
you don't have to kill your other talent to build somebody.
Exactly. And Hager has been beat by not only Moxley, but he's been beat by Cody. So what credibility does Hager have at this point?
Not much. I guess they're relying on people thinking, he's a great MMA fighter when all he's ever fought was tomato can.
He is one of the most legit fighters on AEW, and he could probably beat 90% of AEW's roster. And so you look at it, and now you've done diminished his character. Where are you going to build these guys at? And like I said, I'm not trying to go back to it, but Impact is learning this the hard way, and they're putting Trey and Ace Austin in the main event. What are you going to do next at AEW? Have Brandon Cutler take on Jon Moxley? Really, at this point, AEW has just killed everybody on their roster, and Moxley does not need that title to be the badass.
No. Moxley's one of those guys, he's like Jake the Snake back in the 80s. Jake did not need the title. I remember Jake never held a title in WWF. He didn't need it because he was a draw on his own.
Exactly. So, that's my point is that AEW is just killing it. But this right here, this main event, is the fourth man, no matter what you say or how you want to put it. The fourth man is winning the Impact World Championship, in my opinion.
I'm hoping.
And
if they don't put it on him, they'll put it on Eddie Edwards. That's the only two I can see, to do anything with.
Yeah, exactly. And but my thing is, right now, we're here. This is Slammiversary. This is going to be it's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. Central Time. I think is it 7 p.m. Central Time?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, I'm hoping it is. We're going to check it out. If I get to watch it tomorrow night, we're going to do a prediction show on it, our post show on it and everything. But I want to thank everybody that's coming on here. We've got our WWE Extreme Rules prediction show coming up as well. We've got some prediction shows this weekend. And then the following week, Beyond Wrestling returns on IWTV. We're going to have to talk about some Beyond Wrestling coming up here on the YouTube channel because Beyond Wrestling, one of my favorite companies to watch. I love the Uncharted Territories.
In the United States, Beyond is just, Beyond's one of the things that I'm so glad I caught on to them early. I've been following for quite a while now. They're entertaining, and the owner, Drew, is one of the nicest guys you ever talked to.
Yeah, I just love it, and we're going to check that out. But we'll catch you on our WWE Extreme Rules prediction show. Thank you for listening to our Impact Slammiversary prediction show. This has been King of Wrestling Podcast Production. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
You are listening to Turner Podcast Network.